Hello everyone, welcome back to Blood Omen. Last time we have taken care of a Dark Eden and a couple of insane guardians of the pillars that were behind it, and now our objective is to go to Avernus, because Ariel said so apparently. Now, one thing is concerning the map. Please notice how inaccurate it is, because where we're flying is the tower in the middle of the Dark Eden, in the center of Dark Eden. But you see where the passage to Avernus is. Avernus is highlighted in blue. I mean, I understand that just about none of the architecture in Blood Omen is literal, but still, come on. This is a filler cave. It doesn't have anything apart from these enemies and a few artifacts, namely Implodes and Pentalages of Tarot. So I have absolutely nothing against speeding it up. Now there's this tablet. It's written in a runic script, in Nosgoth's runic script, which is based on Elder Futhark. Unfortunately, I don't remember what does this tablet say, but rest assured I will include it in a subtitle in the video, because the game does give us the alphabet itself, the runic script itself, but the problem is that it's done in one of the secrets, which is located near the Kain's mausoleum in a very early game, but which you need one of the physical strength upgrades to get. So essentially that's one of those secrets for which you have to backtrack, which I did and which I will show later. Now, Avernus.
Avernus consumed itself before my eyes. There seemed no easy path to gain entry to the hell laid out before me. Perhaps there was a way inside from above the chaos that reigned there.
Well, yeah, from above is the easy path, but we're not gonna take it, because why would we? Because we want to take the long and the boring and the hard route. Well, not hard, but long and boring one. Still, what's interesting about Avernus is the fact that it's located near a lake. That's one thing, and another thing is that Kain, as you could hear, mentioned hell before me, and I'm pretty certain that this and name of Avernus is a reference to the lake Avernus, or in Italian Lago d'Averno, which is a crater lake in Italy, which Romans believed to be the entrance into the underworld, basically in hell. And I think it's pretty clear what the inspiration for Avernus was, because Avernus is in fire here, and we're not gonna see any fire inside, but it is a hellhole.
The axes.
And speaking of hellholes, the name of Hades, which is a Greek god of underworld, and the name apparently later became the name of the underworld itself, is pronounced Aid in Russian, and the Russian word for hell, which is Ad, is actually derived from that. There was absolutely no reason for me to say that, but it's interesting.
The gate of Avernus opened slowly before me, daring me to cross the threshold. Who was I to reject such an invitation?
Now, you could see on the map and on the platform screen that Avernus seems to be a very small city, but it is not true. It is one of those cases when it's when the depictions of geography is either, or topography rather in this case, is either inaccurate or not literal, or both. Because in fact Avernus is huge. I'm about to open the map, there we go, and it's only one of 3 or 4 screens. Now thankfully the city is much more linear than it looks, because most of the branching paths, potential branching paths, are blocked off, but still it's very large. And same, by the way, goes for the epicenter of the entire thing, of the city, and of the destruction that is being unleashed upon the city, which is the Avernus Cathedral. It's also much bigger on the inside than on the outside. And it's not just a case of stuff being underground. It's just much like other locations, it's bigger. On the inside, it has more space than you would think that it has when you look at it from the outside. Kind of like the tower in the Dark Eden. Not only Avernus, the city Avernus is very long, but also I enter most of the doors, I enter most of the buildings, because I try to collect everything I can, because I'm gonna need it. We are about to start encountering enemies that can take a lot of punishment, and we are gonna start wasting most of our artifacts. In addition to using the Spirit Death spell, which is an auto kill on anything that is not a boss. Unfortunately, every time we exit a building and go back to the street, go back outside, everything that was there is going to respawn. So if there are guards, they're gonna respawn. If there are demons, they're gonna respawn. If there's undead, they're gonna respawn. And it becomes infuriating very quickly. And this is one of the parts that are even more boring than the city itself. There will be a few of these sewer intermissions, and they're honestly not amusing and not enjoyable to play through at the very least, no matter you get the point, they're not enjoyable. There will be a few of them, and I don't like them. And in the following instances, I may actually resort to speeding them up or cutting them out completely, because there is absolutely nothing in them except for this sewer landscape. Honestly, the only time when it was enjoyable was in Operator's Retreat, but that was attributable mostly to the soundtrack and not to the way it looked and the way it played. And now we see more of the... now we see more of these blood runes. Yes, these runes are inscribed in blood.
The city was paved in blood and flesh. Yet what would have appalled me in life only tempted me in death. Once I would have felt horror. Now, only hunger remained.
And these blood runes are what was used to summon the demons.
Avernus lay in ruins before me. Whatever hand slaughtered its people ravaged the city as well. The beast paused for a moment, drooling in anticipation of the fine meal he saw before him. To his disappointment, he would not find me such easy prey.
And now please start counting the flays. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, these are the weakest demons of all, and they take 8 flays. They survive 1 implode or Font of Petras's artifact. And that is exactly why we are about to waste all our artifacts, especially considering that we're gonna miss half of them. And we are gonna use up, well, not use up, we're gonna abuse the living hell out of the Spirit Death spell, because it's an auto kill on anything, as I have already said like a million times. And yes, as I said before, these things, they do respawn every time you go outside. And unlike the enemies that you can find inside, they don't become ghosts, because ghosts are weaker. They just respawn. And that is absolutely... I have no words for that.
Victus!
In hindsight, I probably should not have bothered with all these places or with all these buildings in Avernus, because in the end I probably have wasted more stuff just trying to clean everything up while exploring than I would. So basically my net gain is lower than it would have been if I didn't bother with anything at all and just killed everything once and we're done with it. But hey, killing stuff is what artifacts are for. It's not like there's any point here to hoard them.
Flame sword.
These energy spitters aren't actually that bad, because there are there are 2 more varieties of demons. There are also green demons which poison you with every single attack they connect, and there are big and fat red demons which we have already seen before in the Lost City. The green ones are the most annoying, and the red ones are the most fat. Now, as we are going further south, as we're progressing through the city, we see more and more of these blood runes, and we are going to see rather more and more blood and gore and carnage and corpses and all that other sexy stuff. It's basically gonna be just an indication that we are approaching the epicenter of the destruction.
Save Victor!
Yay, another city screen and another enemy, and this guy is going to poison us. Now, despite the increasing amount of destruction and blood and gore that you can see in the city as you approach the cathedral, the screens are really, well, the city screens, I mean, they are really the same. It's just the same thing, copy and paste it like 3 or 4 times. And we're not gonna get to the Avernus Cathedral until the next part, so this is basically all you're going to see, this and the sewer intermissions. So if you don't want to bother with that, you might you may as well just skip to the part where we get to the cathedral, because this is everything that you can find in the city. There's nothing else. And they say Soul Reaver is repetitive. Well, Soul Reaver is repetitive, and it's much worse actually than Blood Omen in that regard. So at least Blood Omen doesn't force you to backtrack through all the same grey tunnels, and doesn't have block puzzles. By the way, all these demons and all this destruction is brought upon by a guardian of a pillar, which is basically a proof that they're all fucking insane. And Malak too, apparently he doesn't think for himself. His insane devotion to the circle is such that he sees the Dark Eden and what the people are doing, and still he tries to protect them. So I guess he got what was coming. Oh, by the way, yes, this demon is the one we saw in the Lost City before. I wonder what is in these drawers, because it looks kinda like bones, but it also kinda looks like armor. And I'm not sure. The left one looks like bones, and the right one looks like armor. I suppose we will never know. Yay, another sewer part. Now this sewer part is actually where I will cut off. I will cut off at the end of it where the save game is. So I think I will leave the part in because that's what how the game is supposed to be, but I myself will leave you here and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
Ah!